Hey, my name is Jonathan Leonardo, and today on Internet Church, we're going to take account of our breathing, talk about how Jesus was the most present and aware person who ever existed, and we're going to challenge our notions of behavioral scaffolding. This is Internet Church.
Did you grow up hearing, I'm sure you did because I did, but like your brain stops growing at 25? Did you hear that? Ever?
Yes, I heard that particularly, well, let's put it this way. I heard that male brains are set at like 26, 27,
yes,
28,
right?
right?
And it's like they can make informed decisions after that point. So it's like you're kind of like written off up until then.
100%. And so the way it was presented to me in the religious context is like, that's why you couldn't be a rabbi until you're 30. Because before that, like your brain isn't set, your like prefrontal cortex to actually make the best informed adult decisions. Yeah. And then the way I heard it in like the secular sort of frou woo woo is, have you heard of a Saturn return?
Like Saturn, the literal planet?
Yeah, the literal planet. It takes 29 Earth years for Saturn to have 1 year, one rotation around the sun, right?
Oh, interesting.
And so the Saturn return is this idea, particularly for men, that it takes one Saturn return to actually emerge into manhood. And then that's the middle of your lives, because that's 29 years. And then when you have your second Saturn return, you've lived that middle life and going into golden years. So it's like this clear demarcation of emerging with your set prefrontal cortex into manhood via your Saturn return. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
It was a time in my life where I was listening to a lot of pickup artists on the internet.
Yeah.
Just to say, yes, I've heard it.
No, I remember hearing that, like, and it was sort of like used in terms of teenagers, right? Like, oh, their brain isn't fully formed, which yes. And also what we know now is our brain is never fully formed, right? So neuroplasticity is this idea that our brain is constantly forming new neural connections, and our brain has a tendency of going the path of least resistance. Yeah. And so we tend to, like, we are sort of born with this negativity bias, right? Yeah. It's so much easier for us to remember and conjure up.
We're born with a negativity bias.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder how that happened.
It's that Saturn thing. It's so much easier for us to talk about like negative experiences, negative emotions, negative feelings. And so our brain has this sort of selective attention towards these things, right? But again, what we know about neuroplasticity is we have the ability to change it, and it's hard. It does take effort, but it takes the most effort in the beginning. So like, think about, like, I have two really young toddlers. So, you know, when you're young, your parents are teaching you how to brush your teeth at night, right? Yeah. And like they do this by like behavioral scaffolding, right? Like we put our pajamas on first, and then we go to the bathroom, we brush our teeth. Then we go to the room and we turn the lights down and we read a book, and then we get in bed and we fall asleep, right? It's just a whole routine. And in the beginning,
you just gave me great language. Behavioral scaffolding. I need to tuck that away. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm so wise. Anyways, so then like the goal is as they get older that ultimately this behavior is sort of second nature, right? Yeah. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day who's also a psychologist. We went to college together, and we were talking about how as an adult, like if I don't brush my teeth before I go to bed, I feel so guilty.
Like, girl, that's 3 nights out of the week for me.
I mean, it was a lot for me in the beginning of pregnancy. I couldn't even think about it. It would just, like, make me throw up. So I just like couldn't do it. But it is this like, oh my gosh, like something's going to happen because it's so ingrained, right? It's like this behavior that you have to do. And so that's neuroplasticity. Like that is the scaffolding of behavior so that then it becomes so easy that the neurons just naturally go the path of least resistance. This is what we do. It is common practice. So in the same way, we can practice, right? Working towards an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
And I mean, that can be started as easy as practicing gratitude, being like really mindful of where you are, like present moment awareness, which is what Jesus was the best at, right? Like he was never distracted. Like he saw and talked to whoever was in front of him and was fully immersed in that moment.
So like hold on. You go, wait. For the uninitiated, you're moving so fast on such good things. So the practice of abundance, you named gratitude.
Oh, yeah.
Present something awareness. What was that?
Present moment awareness.
Present moment awareness. And then there was a third one I think you just went over. Or maybe I have threes in my mind because I have a bias towards that. But unpack for us just, a little bit of practicing abundance by way of gratitude and present moment awareness.
Yeah. So, okay. So, I mean, gratitude is just a really easy one. Or, well, an easy one to talk about. It might feel insurmountable at the beginning, but we can always find something to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just an easy way to kind of dip your toe into moving from scarcity towards abundance. Mm-hmm. So talking about, I don't know. I mean, in my own life, it's so easy. I'm so thankful that I'm pregnant, right? Being pregnant is miserable. I can so easily talk about the negative aspects of being pregnant, but then that puts me right back towards scarcity, right? So like abundance, I'm so thankful that my body has the ability to carry a baby, that my body, as it expands and gets bigger, that it is creating room for this life, right, to take form. And I'm so thankful that I have a husband who is so supportive, who's watching our kids right now and with no complaint. Like, I'm thankful that we have a home, that we are alive. Like, I just love life in general. Like, I'm so thankful. And it's easy. That is like a snowball effect, right? Like, when we're grateful for the small things, it is so much easier to be grateful for anything and everything else.
There's always something to be thankful for.
Always.
As long as you're alive,
Absolutely.
There's always something. And as long as you're alive, there's always something to complain about.
Yeah.
And this is where
okay. So this makes me think of something. Okay. I'm going to do an exercise with you.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to look around the room that you're in.
No, no, let's do it. Cause I think I know this exercise, but sure.
Do you?
I think so.
From
Let's
a
do
book.
it. Okay.
I want you to look around the room that you're in and take note of everything that's blue. Do you know what I'm doing?
Yes.
You don't have to say it out loud, but just think about it.
Yep. Looked around it.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Now close your eyes. Mm-hmm. Tell me everything that was red.
Not everything, but there's a big red bag right here. There it is. No, you're absolutely no. Now I'm noticing. Wow. Even knowing what you were doing, because I knew this. Now all I'm seeing is red. Like every single, like Justin's t-shirt, the handle on the microphone. Oh, that. I think it's even more powerful for me knowing what you were doing. Because I'm so recognizing my awareness for redness. Like, I'm choosing to look for red and I'm finding it everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's cool. Because red is an obscure color too, to have a lot of in your room. But yeah, so we find what we're looking for.
Woo,
so we can always find things to moan about and complain about. But with a little bit of effort in the beginning, we can always find something to be thankful for. And that is so much easier of a state to live in than to be very well secured in the victim mentality.
Oh, Savannah. All right. Let's do present moment awareness.
Oh,
Can you say something about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Present moment awareness is something that I think, again, kind of gets a bad rap when I think, especially within Christian circles, like the term mindfulness or like meditation sort of brings this like immediate fear and resistance. And those are like two of my favorite things. So present moment awareness is just the practice of being fully embodied where you are, taking in what is in front of you without judgment. So noticing that right now I am sitting here, I can see you, right? I can like feel the breeze from the AC coming out of the vent. I can feel my like very lukewarm tea in my hand. My toes are cold, right? Like I am taking note of how I'm feeling in this moment. And that allows me to be fully immersed in the moment. I'm not thinking about like, I don't have any groceries. I'm teaching Sabbath school tomorrow. That's going to be a wreck. I've never done that, right? Like I could totally go down this whole thing, but then that takes me out of what allows me to be thankful and present. And so full-bodied awareness is really, and there's a really easy practice. Do you want to do it real quick? Because this would be
Let's do it.
helpful too. Okay. What are 5 things that you see? And not like I see the desk, like obscure, like I see the reflection of the lamp in the window.
Okay.
Like just 5 things that you notice. It doesn't have to be that obscure.
Yeah, now you said obscure, so I'm like looking for obscure, but I can tell you
Challenge.
3 things that I noticed.
5.
Mercy.
It can be 3. That's fine.
All right, I'm at 4. Fine, 5. Got 5.
Okay. So 5 things that you see. What are 4 things that you're touching? So like I'm touching my tea. My feet are on the stool. I can feel my in-ears.
Yeah, okay. Yep. There it is. Yeah, 5.
Okay.
I got 4. That's
So 4 things you're touching. 3 things. It's all the senses. Touching, seeing, tasting, smelling, and hearing. 3 things you're hearing.
Okay.
And then 2 things you're smelling.
Okay.
And 1 thing you're tasting.
My bad breath. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So all that does is just get you into contact with the present moment, right? Like all of those things are happening whether or not you're paying attention to them or not. So all that does is just get you in your body and like in contact with where you are. And another really cool thing that I think is really, really helpful, this is a quote unquote like trick that I learned, is when it comes to our breathing, we are always either relaxing or tensing. So that is completely dictated by the length of our exhale versus inhale, right? So if your inhale and your exhale are the same length or your exhale is shorter, you're actually like speeding up your respiratory system and you're bringing yourself into a sense of stress. And so you can use that to your advantage by checking in with your breath and ensuring that your exhale is actually longer than your inhale. And what that does is it relaxes your nervous system. It lets you know that you're safe. It brings down your respiratory rate. So like that's another really easy way to just like become more embodied in the moment and focused on what's in front of you rather than kind of getting sucked into whatever's happening in your head or anyways.
No, all things that, as you're saying, is resonating so deep because all things that in the best of times are a practice in prayer. That
Yeah, totally.
to take the moment and be aware, to take the moment and like localize my breathing as I engage God in prayer. And I mean this in the sense where I would actually sit in a room, get very comfortable and practice this awareness to then engage him in gratitude, right? Like as gratitude emerged, I would practice having that gratitude emerge from a body that was at rest and
Yes.
a mind that was aware. And when my life speeds up, I deviate from finding that space, which is of such great importance because then the gratitude emerges in relationship to the text. All too often for me is that as I'm reading through the text and I'm practicing gratitude from what I'm interacting with in the text, I sense that the text itself begins to open up in greater revelation because
Yes.
my posture of mind and body is ready to receive the things of the spirit, which are peaceable, that they are wise, that they are gentle, right? So
Yes.
actually being in that embodied state is to agree with the character of the spirit.
Okay, so I'm genuinely interested if in that part where Dr. Savannah is talking about breathing, if you caught yourself and noticed that you were tight as you breathed, right?
I was worried it was paganism.
No, man, you know that you were like, oh, wait, she got me. So here's some questions. One, I wrote some of them down here. As we were talking about the path of least resistance in light of our bias towards negativity, what were some of the things that immediately popped up and you're like, yeah, I'm a little negative in that, or like, yeah, my brain goes to that thing right away. So if you're willing to confess and talk about it, what was that thing? Because I know something emerged. And then number two, I want to hear some reflections on this idea of Jesus being the most present and aware person, and how he was a fully embodied person, just his present moment awareness, his senses, and all of that. Just that image that she brought there was challenging, beautiful, and thought-provoking all at once, that I'd love to hear some reflections on that idea. Look forward to the discussion.